I'll take the privilege to introduce you. Praveen Rao is also a dear friend, and their company also recently got inducted as the CMO Choice Enabler of the Year. That's Arvato. So you are in safe hands.
Thanks. I would rather want to straight away jump to the core agenda. So I think a very good idea would be to begin with why influencer marketing is the fastest growing form of marketing. And I think we'll try and get two perspectives. One is a B2B and a B2C perspective from that. So I would first go to Rajesh, who heads SAP's marketing in India, South Asia. So Rajesh, what's your perspective and why do you think that in a B2B environment, influencer marketing is very critical and is growing, if at all it is?
Yeah, I think trust is a rare commodity in the market today. When people know, most forms of commercial marketing, trust factor is low. And when people make tough decisions which involve high risk, they want to talk to somebody who they trust, either because of their expertise or because of reasons many of our other panelists mentioned. And also I think the other reason is a lot of information we beam to customers via traditional modes of marketing, they can figure out themselves today. But I think the challenge with influence marketing is partly marketing, partly sales. Because sales itself has to change their idea of having complete control over the customer. Because influence, essentially, you can, everything in the business at the end measures in terms of sales impact and business, but the whole idea of influence is that it is an influence. So which means the sales cycles for everything are getting longer. There are multiple people who are influencing that decision. And to that extent, as a marketer, as a salesperson, your control is getting lesser. I think that's a paradigm which, we are still on a quarterly cycle. We still need to land the numbers. So in that sense, that's one challenge I see in this area. Secondly, by nature, you trust somebody because you feel they're independent, right? And with social media, it's getting more and more fragmented. How do you really industrialize it? How do you run in an organized fashion versus being this whole gamut, especially in technology industry, you see this gamut of being enfant terrible, somebody who everybody trusts. They're unapproachable, to being large companies where brand carries some credibility. They have an opinion on everything, but people may or may not trust people under that brand. So I think, how do you really industrialize that process in today's environment? Those two areas I see as a challenge.
So, I would switch over to the VeriSigns representative here, which is Deepika. So, why don't you give your perspective? Because you come from a very interesting industry, which is dealing with security, encryption, and so why don't you give your perspective that how do you really go about getting your product across? And in that context, how does influencer marketing go straight?
Sure. So our core business actually is that of naming, and we operate the infrastructure of domain extensions like .com and .net. So which means the consumers who find it relevant are small and medium businesses. So these are micro, medium, small enterprises which total up to about 15 million in the country, which means it's almost like a small country in itself. So it doesn't remain a B2B business anymore. It becomes more like a mass sort of a consumer segment. And in the age of internet, where everybody is empowered to have an opinion, why influencer marketing becomes important is because every time somebody is using your product, they have the right to go out and digitally or otherwise talk about what they feel. And in the age where you have either recommendation engines or comparative engines who are rating your service or product, it becomes that much tricky to sort of influence the right drivers, right? I mean, if I want it for any category, if I want take it food or movies or like what you mentioned, right? Travel, I know where to go. There are verticalized engines where I can go and see, who's recommended what. So it's not just a few influencers thus, it's actually the number of influencers to engage with becomes much larger. So that's the perspective from a more of a, I would say, a B2C or a B2 micro enterprise perspective. And really the challenge and the issue is to then see, understand what is the mechanism to proliferate your messaging or idea or concepts through such a wide mass of influencers.
Great. Quickly, in the interest of time, I would want to touch upon you. Why don't you do a quick introduction, but also tell us that in a scenario when we deal with umpteen number of telemarketing calls coming to us for selling insurance, home loans, property loans, etc. You come from an industry, which is helping people form an opinion and select the best product, right? So you may want to pick up an issue which is key issues a brand would face in understanding and reaching out to the influencers. How do you really go about doing that?
Yeah, hi, this is Rishi. I'm co-founder at eFirms. See, what we understood was that when a customer buys a larger product, which is some amount of his segment, which is going to be big for a few years to take him a decision on. Example, somebody is buying a 500 to 1,000 rupees, which a decision that is going to take 10 times or 20 times a month or something, or a decision which is for 20 lakh, 50 lakh, 1 crore, 10 crore, which requires more role as he needs to be influenced more. So once you're trying to deal with a product, you have to understand also how big is your product and how relevant is the influential marketing in it. See, when you're dealing with smaller products where by the impulse of buying a product, you buy a product. So influential marketing may not be that role play into it. So all of you who have the product which have to be sold, which is a larger in nature, wants a decision. So the person is going to read about it, think about it, and take up a decision based on, because he doesn't know about the product and he's going to be the first time getting into that product. Now, a lot of when you get into the finance side, a lot of people, we think that we know about the products, so they go out and say they buy a product of thinking of knowing about it. But with the intervention of the internet and the comparison engines, so a person would identify a place to say that, okay, I'm getting the cheapest, but also would identify who is the best, who's going to give me the service also. So with all those perspectives that have come into place, so we have to understand what is the percentage of the influential marketing that's going to play into your product. Because once you've understood that, based on that, you try to put up a campaign, it will help you to get the right numbers that you deserve at.
Great, thanks. So quickly, one last question, and I would put that to Murali, who comes from Shell agency which services Samsung and some of the other Korean clients. So ROI, we all face that question every day from our clients, right? So, and I'm sure Samsung would not be sparing you. So in the scenario of influencer marketing, I'm sure you're big on digital, you're big on various other channels or go-to-market channels. So how do you really address this issue of measurement of certain channels, specifically influencer marketing-led channels?
So one of the things that before you do a campaign, one of the things that you have to very clearly identify is why are you doing the campaign? What is it that you want to get out of it? Now, some campaigns may have a number. And in my experience, what I've generally seen is you put a free sticker or 20% off sticker, and that thing, you want to get immediate ROI, that's the best way. With some, you will have a slightly longer gestation period. So you have to be patient through the process. You'll say, okay, today we'll start here. If we start measuring, then we'll see how much have we moved on this scale, on say a likability scale or people talking about a scale. Sometimes I found that Twitter campaigns and all, trending on Twitter can be, it's very misleading because you do it for a day, then what? So being able to sustain an idea is what is critical, and it's also how much your consumers can actually interact with you. The quality of those interactions is a very good barometer of the kind of ROI you're getting, because then they're probably talking to other people and telling them, look, this product makes sense because I had this conversation and I think it makes, I got this response, which makes sense. And that is what you can look for when you're doing a lot of influencer marketing.
So thanks Murali. I think it was a very valuable contribution coming in from everybody. One question that I would want to leave open for this forum is, yes, influencer marketing is that we all accept and work towards it to make it happen. I think the next and open-ended question would be that how do we complete the journey of a consumer from he getting influenced to he getting to buy a product. B2B it is still simple to answer. Within a B2C it may be still a bit of a challenge. So I think I would leave this as a food for thought for everyone. Maybe in one of the forums we may want to pick it up as a separate topic altogether. With that note, thanks Vatsal, and thank you everybody.